For innocent stage, the goal is a state of paradise. The text is to fall to the normal world. The fear is the loss of paradise. In the stage of orphan, the goal is to get safety again. The taste is to find hope. The fear is about abandonment. In the stage of martyr, wait for a while. My children keep talking, sorry. Um, for wanderer, the goal is to get autonomy, find who they are, find their freedom, sometimes something like that. The test is to find their own identity, what they want, something like that. The fear is about conformity, to conform with the society. In the stage of warrior, the goal is to develop the power. The text is about courage. The fear is about weakness. At the stage of magician, the goal is to find wholeness. The text is to find joy and faith. The fear is about superficiality. So let's check each stage. Innocent has no goals, fear or lose of paradise, and must leave paradise in order to grow. The end of any hero's journey is also innocent stage. Innocent stage marked by the return to paradise. But at that time, it's a new level, which is also indicate wisdom. The picture of innocence is the happy children, fearless children. They uh, they live in a place like paradise, didn't worry about anything. There are some famous innocent in our culture because we can see some story about Peter Pan or about some famous teenager in myth. The characteristic of innocent is about pure, being pure, faithful, good, optimistic, or simple. Famous innocence is like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz. Innocence usually look like child, saint, or mystic figure. Pearson's innocence wants the world to stay as it is. He or she fears change, but in order to grow, the character must risk losing the safety of home and face the adventurous world. The innocence is usually untainted by the darker aspect of life. They have a sense of moral and spiritual cleanness. However, there is a poetry can embody the innocence. From innocence to overt, heaven lies about us in our infancy. Shade of the prison house began to close. Upon the growing boy, at last the man receive it die away and fade into the light of common day. So when a person grow up, he cannot stay in the paradise anymore because the paradise was protected by parents or by other adults. When he grow up, this paradise finally will become a prison. Then this boy will need to grow up in common days, to grow up as an adult. Then his paradise or her paradise will fade away. So when a person grow up but he want to stay in the stage of innocence, it will become very strange and it's going to become another cage in the future. An innocent like a true understanding of the outside world, the living in a very perfect world where he is loved and taken care of. For the innocent, other people um, exist to fulfill his needs, just like a kid. They pursue happiness and always strive to see the true, good, and beautiful side of the world, no matter how bad the current situation may be. Innocence is a natural state of children, but when carried into adulthood, it requires a lot of denial and it requires a lot of denial. Lack of the lack of a true understanding of the outside world means that an innocent is afraid of being criticized for doing something wrong and, and easily trusting others, have a strong internal belief, open mind. But a fearless child sometimes may believe that everyone in the world are good persons. Living in a perfect world where is uh, living in a perfect world is only exists when he is a child. So when it's very uncommon for adult to believe that the world is a perfect world and other people should fulfill his need. So many culture has depicted that a golden age from which humankind fall actually is described the fall of innocent to orphan. In our culture, the primary story that gives this meaning to us is the myth of Adam and Eve. Innocent can be eternal youth. They only do their self, but they are they are a little bit too naive and too crazy for some old times. So for innocent man, he always think about actually I'm still a big kid. So if your husband or your wife is still a big kid, they are probably in the stage of innocent. Sometimes they will collect a lot of toy and games, have dream of the future but unrealistic, refuse to accept the ugliness around the world. Orphan um, is the second stage. Safety is the goal of the orphan. Abandon is their greatest fear, and their growth test is to develop hope. When confronting the dragon, the orphan either deny its existence or sits waiting to be rescued. Often achieve healing by learning to trust, which is their key virtue and highest expression. The picture of orphan is look like this. When a child was falling down from paradise and into an unknown world, he was scared, uh, insecure, look like this boy. This little boy is in Syria who was injured during the civil war. His face was covered in blood and he was unaware of what has happened. This area is always at war, but it also represents the world that often face. So when the orphan face the unknown world look like this, but he just fall down from the paradise. The feeling is his greatest fear is about safety. He want to survive. There is a small video to introduce about orphan. Yeah, it's short.
Have you ever felt lost, alone, or abandoned? These feelings are universal and are often associated with the orphan archetype. In Carl Jung's theory of archetypes, the orphan represents a person who has been disconnected from their roots and feels like an outsider in society. But what makes the orphan archetype so powerful? Let's find out. The orphan archetype can manifest in different ways, such as the homeless, the outsider, or the rebel. It represents the struggle for survival and the search for identity. Those who identify with this archetype often have a strong sense of independence and resilience. They can also be highly creative and resourceful. But the power of the orphan archetype goes beyond individual traits. By embracing the orphan within us, we can tap into our inner strength and find meaning in our struggles. If you want to explore more about the power of archetypes, follow and like our channel for more insightful videos.
Okay. So we are talking about the very famous book, The Hero Within, and this theory was proposed by Carol Pearson, which depicts a hero's journey. The hero will experience three stages. At the beginning, the hero leaves the ordinary world, then got a call to adventure, meeting the mentor. He was tested. He find a lie. He encountered enemies and approached to the inmost cave to see the central part of the problem. Then he encountered his enemy, fighting with the dragon. Then finally he got reward and come back to the normal world. But sometimes come back to the normal world is very difficult. So he need try very hard to come back the normal world because he is so success he cannot come back anymore. Then finally he returned with elixir, which is a special medicine or special gift. And sometimes we can use this pattern to create story, which is very useful curriculum design that many people use to design. Sometimes we design a whole semester curriculum by this pattern. Sometimes we just design a 2 or 3 hours activity by this pattern. But because story can be integrated into Chinese, English, song, art, or anything else, life skill training, something like that. So it's very popular. It's a very popular approach to develop activities for children and young people. If we know the pattern of the story, we can see some major character in the story. They are innocent, orphan, wanderer, worried, martyr, magician. This character was based on Carl Jung's theory. Carl Jung's theory. Carl Jung proposed the concept of archetype and also the concept of shadow. These heroes need to kill the dragon as well as their shadows. If you are one of these archetypes, you own the characteristic of these archetypes, and you can check which one is your stage and what is your goal, taste, and fear. Let's view some characteristics of each archetype. For innocence was a child lived in paradise, protected by parents or other adults. He feel like he have the right to use everything in the paradise. And the second stage is orphan. An orphan is a child who was abandoned in the unknown world. He feels scared, insecure, and need to be rescued. His world is so scary. He didn't know what to do. A very famous orphan is Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a kid was abandoned um, in an unfriendly world. His quest his quest is to regain safety. His dragon is to be a victim. His task is to fully feel pain again in the process. But however, often knows that everyone matters. His strength lies in the independence and practical realistic that he have learned at an early age. His fear is that he may fall into victim mentality. When he was discovered that God is dead or uncaring, the government is not always good, the law are not always fair, or the courts may not protect him, the person was become an orphan. He was falling down from the paradise. Sometimes traditional men may experience extreme disillusionment upon discovering that women are not always giving trees, but women may also experience disappointed and angry to discover that men are not only men may not only to protect women, but also have promoted or benefit from the oppression of women. So sometimes men didn't protect women, and men also do something very bad to women, to oppress women. For some, it is disappointed to discover that real life is not actually not always happy. The overwhelming sense of powerlessness and fear of abandon, rejected as self-depression or anger toward others. So actually, the stage of orphan is a very difficult place for children and young people. The orphan is a disappointed idealist, and the greater the ideas about the worse reality appears. The world is seen as dangerous. Villains and pitfalls are everywhere. The world is not safe anymore. People feel like they are a girl on the street. They are forced to cope with a hostile environment without appropriate skill or weapon. So the world is too dangerous. It seems like a dog eat dog world, where people are either victims or uh, victimizers. The dominant emotion of this stage is fear, and the basic motivation is survival. So often just want to survive in this dangerous world. However, often is a disappointed idealist. He starts to find that the world is not always beneficial, not always so good, treat people so nice. They are forced to face a terrifying environment without any power to resist. A child facing the overwhelming fear of significant loss and feeling that everything is unknown. They hope for a perfect caregiver again, just like their parents, their mother, their father, to protect them. Sometimes they were searching for a protector, but at the same time, they will have a risk of becoming dependent. But they don't care at that time because they are so scared. The very difficult thing for an orphan is to break out the comfort zone and take actions to go ahead. However, the archetype of orphan is usually a challenging place to be. The orphan story is about feeling powerless and longing for a return to the pure and innocent state where all his needs are taken care of by loving parents. But if you grow up, it's unrealistic to think about become children again. You need to go ahead. One of the defenses of orphan is to try to hold on to their innocence and to become not to unaware of other people's pain. So there sometimes we can see a self-satisfied man sitting reading the newspaper while his wife is overwhelmed making dinner while taking care of their demanding, tired and hungry children. Sometimes we can see an example of a oven. A cheerful young woman spent the day shopping, unaware that her husband disliked his job but continued to work to support her. The experience of this fall is feeling I want, I hurt, I need, and discovering that no one either will or can do anything about it. In many cases, however, orphans are simply and honestly orphans, disrupt their capability and sending out the message, I don't know how to care for myself. An orphan character seeks safety, fearful of everything and everyone. The orphan is especially afraid of being abandoned by parents, siblings, friends, spouse, or others. In order to achieve hope, however, the orphan must learn to face the world alone. But finally, we will find that the orphan stage is a fortunate fall because he fall down from the paradise. Then the travel, the adventure began because the orphan need to trust other people and have a hope. They need find their own way. The complexity of the orphan archetype is significant in a personal growth and development is very clear in the later stages. Wanderer is a person who is a traveler who take a trip alone. Wanderers seek autonomy, fear conformity, and need to develop their own sense of identity. When confronted with difficulty, wanderers run away. Their key virtue is clarity. Pearson put it in her excellent book. Wanderer makes the decision to leave the world of the unknown for the unknown. So he start to travel for some reason unknown. Sometimes it is because of fear. When he fear and he didn't know what he can do, then he run away and began a trip lonely. A famous wanderer is is the very famous pioneer, female pioneer. Her name is Emily Earhart. Earhart. But finally, he was disappeared in the Pacific Ocean. Nobody know where they are currently. The wanderer archetype sees life as an adventure. It is a part of us. Um, it is a part of our life. Along the way, wanderers confront challenges and develop trust in their own ability. The wanderer's journey a is a hero's journey, a quest for one's own identity. People who never experience the wanderer archetype risk creating a life that is uh, not a life that they really want. So we all experience a stage of wanderer. If we didn't, we probably didn't know what we really want. So it's a very lonely traveling. They might wake up one day and realize that they are in a wrong job, wrong relationship, uh, the wrong life. Because they never look deep within themselves, they didn't make choice that are based on their own self-knowledge. The characteristic of wanderer is about nonconformist who desire freedom. who desire the truth. They are introverted. They are adventure. Wanderer will say, in working settings, they will say, I will do it myself. In a relationship, a wanderer will say, let me get along. If they feel very difficult job they cannot handle, they will run away because they know they cannot do it. It's better to run away before they are hidden, they are fall down. Life is just an adventure. Their taste is about identity. There are some example of wanderer, but I will need to hurry up. The next stage is about worry. Worry has strengths as their goal, fear, weakness about all, and need to develop courage rather than muscle power. They slide their oppositions. A worry's key virtue is balance power. Uh, Worry is a character who focuses on strength, fearing any appearance of weakness. This character must learn that victory does not result from strength, but from courage in the midst of weakness. Worries seek to win at whatever confront them. They fear weakness. So the quest of worry is to win. The fear of worry is about weakness. The dragon the dragon of the worry is about the courage. The test is to fight only for what really matters. The virtue of worry is about courage and discipline. This is a picture of the image of a worry. Uh, their identity is that they are a person who didn't know what they are fighting for. They cannot become a true worry. If they fight for something else, not only for themselves. They fight uh, for other people's welfare. They fight for something greater than themselves. So at that time, they find their identity. They know what they really want. They fight for an ideal society, ideal world. Fear is always an invitation for growth. This is for worry. So fight for a great world, a great ideal future. This is the advertisement of Nike, which is very inspiring. He used the archetype of worry to create his advertisement. These archetypes are very useful for telling story. Then it's also very useful for advertisement because archetype exists in everybody's mind. So it's very easy to communicate with people the idea, the the fear, the good part of your archetype. Because in our mind, we all have a kid in our mind. We all have warrior in our mind, actually. We all go through this process. This is also a advertisement of Nike, which stress a fighter image. to fight with unfair injustice, something like that. But today we probably didn't have enough time to see the video. If you are interested, it is a very success advertisement because they emphasize the warrior archetype, so it is very easy to accept by most people. The The good side of archetype is control, willpower, success, action, determination. The bad side of archetype is about self-discipline, opposition, lack of direction. If they didn't know what they are fight for, they will, if they only fight for themselves, they will lose their courage actually. Then finally they will go on a wrong way. Where there is a will, there is a way. This is the famous saying for warriors. For a martyr is someone who kills themselves for some reason. So martyr is a person who sacrificed themselves for other people. The martyr's goal is goodness, their fear is selfishness, and their task is to develop the ability to give up, to surrender. In confrontation, martyr will try to appease or will sacrifice themselves to save others. Their highest expression is love. Image of Murta, the very famous Murta is actually Mandela, who is the president of South Africa. He fought for equality, and finally he success. The characteristic of Murta is about willingness to sacrifice, enduring suffering. He suffered for other people, willingness to take blame, does what is right, strong, empowering. Sometimes we can some archetype of mota in our life. We can see a person, typically a man, who work very hard and give up his health or happiness or interest or hobbies for his country, company, or any reasons. At this time, he sacrificed himself, but save other people, make other people live in a happy life. We can see some image of Martha like the mother of Jesus or Maju, who is the sea goddess in Taiwan. When we see a archetype of Martha, we think about an image of a person who suffer but be happy at the same time. This is Gandhi, the very famous Indian hero. In a sense, we are all heroes. We just look very normal and come on. But we are hidden heroes, secretly save other people. So this is the archetype of martyr. Martyr is a person who sacrificed, but who sacrificed himself happily. This is true martyr, but some false martyr who sacrifice themselves, but they also complain or control other people by their sacrifice. The final stage is rejection. Rejection feel superficiality, long for wholeness, and have the development of faith as their main task. In confrontation, they incorporate and affirm the position of others. The key virtue or expression is joy. This is poetry which describe the birth of the universe in Australia myth. But for a magician see and create and teach other peoples. The magician is the man who sees with more than just his physical set of eyes. He know the knowledges, and sometimes we will say this age is a age of magician because we know knowledge or other wisdom forms. Then but magician know not only knowledge but also wisdom. Magician can create. He can create because he knows uh, the rule of the principle, the rule of nature, and he can create. He have the power to create words, kind of, but also manipulate and destroy the world, kind of. He also teach because magician know the knowledge. He want to inspire other people. So magician is also a teacher. Actually, he is a keeper of truth. He can see truth and inspire other people, help other people to through spiritual practice or structural education to improve their life or solve their own problems. He also can name the problems because he can see the shadow of the people. So in the end, I want to ask you, what is the shadow of your archetype? If you see your archetype, then you can find what is your shadow. uh, please give us some idea or comment about your archetype or shadow. I want to invite, probably we have time, very short time. I want to invite your response, please. Uh, so please tell me your archetype and try to think about your strengths and shadow. Are they your shadow? Are they your strengths? Do you consider it true? If you are magician, your shadow is superficiality. If you are a warrior, your shadow is uh, weakness. If you are martyr, your shadow is about selfishness. If you are ready, then please raise your hand. And after this question, we will end our lesson. So please. For me, my archetype is magician. So my strength is the ability to name the shadow or express joy to other people, something like that. My shadow will be superficiality. And I think it's true for me. So what's your archetype and what's your shadow? Please, please, please. Or we will need to discuss next week. 心宇, are you ready? Or Anish, are you ready? I didn't see your archetype yet.
I send it in the
Oh,
group.
sorry.
It's
Yeah.
magazine.
Oh, yes, you told me. Then, how do you consider your archetype? Do you think it's true for you or not true?
Mm, I don't know.
Really? It's not true.
Yeah, I don't know how to relate to it.
Okay. It doesn't matter. However, this activity also help us to think about how to help young children to find out their own goal or their next step, because this book is about respond to the call to adventure. So it's very good for help children and teenagers, but also adults. I feel that some adults can benefit from this storytelling. When they see this character, they can tell their story. But if I am young, I also have no story to tell. But since I'm a little bit old, I have a lot of story to tell about innocent, about orphan, about Murta, about warrior, about wanderer. I also in experience that kind of stage. Then for adults, there are a lot of story to tell, but for teenager, they can think about what is their next step. Is are they in the stage that they wish to achieve? Do they have any expansion for themselves in the future, something like that? So finally, we should create a story. Do you think? Do you think it's possible? So next week, if we have time, we can do an activity. Use this theory to create your own story, to tell your own story, not your own story, your hero's story. But in a sense, we are all heroes. We just look very common. We are not dead. That hero is in the history book, but we are living heroes who may, some people may save the world secretly, something like that. Yes, your archetype will change. Mm, maybe few years later, you will change your archetype. Now you are magician. Maybe next time you are innocent. I hope I can be innocent again because I want to achieve the end of the circle. Yeah. But it's a way you can it's a theory you can use it from a base of dream analysis. But you can also use this theory to create a story, to encourage children to create their own hero story. Or sometimes you can encourage them to explain what kind of hero they want to be. They can be a lonely hero, can be a hero who sacrifice themselves but save other people, can be a hero who hold truth and knowledge and the secret of the nature, or can be a hero who are pure, clean, believe positive things, or a hero work very hard in a dangerous world, but they are all heroes. And if we know more about their positive side in our mind, the positive self in our mind, we have a clear sense of life. But it's okay to have no clear purpose or clear sense about your life. It is also okay because it's a process, and we can go through this process sometimes. So we will end today. Next week, hopefully, we'll have some time to do some storytelling activity. See you next week. Thank you a lot. See you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Everyone. Bye.